We are getting this breaking input coming in related to some developments being reported along the line of actual control. What we are given to believe is that there is an escalation by China along the line of actual control in Galwan Valley. And in fact, this is the official statement which has been released that during the de-escalation process in Galwan Valley, a violent face-off took place. This was last night and casualties have been reported in this particular incident. This is an extremely important development being reported and will be seen as massive provocation by Beijing. Let's go across to our National Affairs editor Srinjoy Chaudhary, who is joining me with more inputs on this. Srinjoy, what is the official statement on this latest incident?
Well, the most important thing here is the fact that one officer and two Jawans of the Indian Army have been killed in a shootout with the Chinese PLA in the Galwan Valley area. This happened last night, and we had initially heard 4, but we now hear that the figure that has come out is 3 Indian soldiers. 1 officer, 2 Jawans of the Indian Army have been killed in a shootout in the Galwan Valley. Now, this is, we were told by the army that during the de-escalation process, there was a skirmish which led to this shootout and so on. Now, this is the first time since '62, perhaps, that there has been firing in the line of actual control area. This is the most significant aspect. We are also hearing that senior officials from both sides have reached the area, and what they are doing is trying to ensure that this does not happen again, this is not repeated again, and there is peace in the area and de-escalation continues. But this is a remarkable piece of incident. In the middle of de-escalation, there was a skirmish, and it led to the death of 3 Indian soldiers, 1 officer and 2 men. This has been confirmed by the Indian Army. We had slightly different numbers, but this has been confirmed by the army. 1 officer dead, 1 officer, 2 Jawans killed in the firing with the Chinese PLA.
But like you said, Srinjoy, this is a remarkable turn of events at a time when de-escalation process was underway at the line of actual control. And now we are getting the update of 3 casualties on Indian side. Let me bring in our executive editor, Vivek Narayan, as well, who's joining me from the Newspit for more on this. Vivek, this will be seen as massive provocation by Beijing.
Absolutely a shocking incident which has happened along the LAC there at the Galwan Valley. Well, it was a time when we were all looking at de-escalation. There were several rounds of talks, both at diplomatic level and at the ground level between the officers, between the armies of 2 sides, between the PLA and the Indian Army. At a very senior level, at a Lieutenant General level, the talks were on, and we were looking at a peaceful de-escalation. What led to this skirmish, as the army calls it, and why is it that the Indian soldiers were shot? We have seen over the past many years there have been scuffles, there have been skirmishes along that frontier between Indian and Chinese soldiers, but never has it led to the use of firearms on either side. Now, this is very shocking. We saw the pushing and punching happening 2 years back, and just about a month back, in this picture that we are seeing, there are arguments between the 2 sides, between the PLA and the Indian Armed Forces. The fact that firearms have been used means that a major escalation has happened. And now, Preeti, it is incumbent on both the political leadership and the armed forces leadership of both nations right there at the ground to ensure that it does not lead to a further conflagration, because this is a point which can lead to a major crisis. This is a time the hotlines on both sides, diplomatic, political and military, has to be open. I'm sure it's open, but it's a time that every leadership, political leadership and also opinion leaders like media, political parties should extreme restraint should be the motto right now among both the Chinese and the Indian. Yes, we have Major General J.D. Bakshi on the line there. Major General Bakshi, we have heard of this incident. It's extremely shocking, as I said. I mean, we haven't heard of use of firearms along those LAC with China before, have we, sir, in the recent past?